Innovation and Design Thinking. IDT. VTU. Module 1. Introduction. By J. Nanu. Design thinking is a framework or a tool for problem solving, ideally for dealing with unknown or ill-defined problems. Hence, it is an effective tool for solving multifaceted or multidimensional and complex problems of organizations. According to Tim Brown, the founder of IDEO, Innovation Design Engineering Organization, design thinking is all about upgrading with constraints. This means that all the companies or organizations must innovate without interruption for the growth and stay consistent. The successful companies are those which always look for new ways to contend with their competitors. Design thinking is a wonderful tool to achieve this goal. Design thinking, the concept was developed by David Kelley, professor from Stanford University, who is also founder of IDEO. His work influenced other professors of design school of Stanford University like Terry Winograd and Larry Leifer. It is unfortunate that till now there is no agreed definition of design thinking. Nelsman Norman Group conducted a study with majority of design professionals of various industries of varying experience to define design thinking. But still there is no common agreement on the specifics of design thinking. Hence, design thinking is a more generic and open-ended framework to solve human problems. However, design thinking can be concisely defined as design thinking is a human-centric, solution-based, problem-solving and iterative framework. Human-centric. It means design thinking is to understand the user, customer, client. User is the person for whom we are designing the product or service and is to be considered in all the stages of design thinking. Customer is the God. Solution-based. Design thinking uses problem-solving approaches to solve complex problems of the organizations. As in design thinking is also iterative nature, one can obtain more optimal solution for the problems and can choose the best among them. Problem solving. Design thinking is a methodology to deal with the ill-defined complex problem, as design thinking helps in defining the problem and challenging all the constraints and help in redefining the problem and with the solutions to solve the problem. Iterative. In all the stages of design thinking process, one can use the results, review, question and improve further the outcomes. This may take several times to obtain best solution. Hence, design thinking is a nonlinear approach. Design thinking characteristics. The design thinking characteristics are: out-of-the-box approach. It encourages to explore the different alternatives and to obtain innovative solution to the problems considering user cultural and contextual factors. Collaborative and multidisciplinary. Design thinking need the teamwork of collaborative and multidisciplinary persons of having different skills, thinking patterns, personalities to use them effectively in all the stages of design thinking process. Yields innovation. See the figure. By combining the three important components that show human desirability, technical feasibility and economic viability, design thinking yields innovation. Benefits of design thinking. The benefits of design thinking are: 1. Helps on identifying the needs which are not addressed earlier and hence new opportunities. 2. It reduces the costs and risks in testing the new ideas as it uses concept of fail fast, fail cheaply through prototyping. 3. Bring out innovative solutions rather than adding one more to the existing one. 4. Helps the organization be in competition by learning faster. Stages of design thinking. There are 5 stages of design thinking as shown in the figure. They are: 1. Emphasize. 2. Define. 3. Ideate. 4. Prototype. 5. Test. Empathize. The first stage of design thinking process is empathize. In the main objective of empathize stage is to understand the users empathetically. Design thinker need to understand their needs and the things what users really care. For this, design thinker must remove all his personal assumptions about the problem which he is going to solve. To understand the users empathetically, he should conduct the interviews to know users' interests, experiences, and for what they will give value and what motivates them. Design thinker should completely understand and feel the environment that enveloping the problem. Considering these facts, design thinking approach is called as human-centered approach to solve the problems. This stage is very crucial stage and design thinker must collect considerable amount of data or information and synthesize it, which can be used subsequent stages of design thinking process. Define. Define is the second stage in design thinking process. Define means defining the problem clearly. The data or information collected in the first stage should be sorted and sequenced in a manner that to define the problem that is going to deal more precisely. If the data collected through interviews, it can be analyzed and key phrases related to the problem are to be highlighted. Thus, in this stage, design thinker bring the focus and the clarity of the work to be done as he will know now what is the real problem. It ideal to write this as a problem statement. It is interesting to note that till now we are defining the problem from the user's perspective without any conditions or constraints related to the technical feasibility and financial viability of solutions. Ideate. This is the third stage in design thinking process. This is really brainstorming stage. Design thinkers now generate as many logical ideas to solve the problems which was defined in the stage 2. Generally, the ideas generated in this stage are rough ideas and design thinker should use valid approaches to solve the problem. Important thing in this stage is to think outside of the box in order to ideate several solutions to have some options for prototyping in the later stage. Design thinker sketch the ideas and present to the users in order to refine and filter the ideas which are really worth investigating further. There are say.viral presentation tools available for better presentation of ideas which will be discussed later. In this stage, design thinkers should refine and filter the ideas which are technically feasible and financially viable. Fail early and fail cheap is an important concept to keep in mind as the idea we going to implement in the next stage as prototyping should consume less time and money. If it fails, we have other options available as in this ideate stage design thinkers ideated several solutions for the same problem. Prototype. In this stage, design thinkers and the other team members work together to generate as many inexpensive in the sense consume less time, money and effort as explained earlier, prototypes to enable to explore and investigate the potential solution. The main objective of this prototyping is share something that acts as a basis for communication with all the individuals connected to the product or service, i.e., design team, all the stakeholders including the users. It is very important that in this stage we are not attempting to the correct solution, rather we are exploring some good ideas that can solve the problem. Hence, we should not waste time in thinking about how to build a prototype. Every potential solution is prototyped, investigated, and then accepted, improved, re-examined or rejected. As we are exploring more solutions to the problems, it is important that we should not spend much time and not to build complex and costly prototypes. This will make us easier and quicker to move to another one. Design thinkers will have a complete idea about which solutions are mostly solve the problem and the constraints at the end of this stage. Test. Test is the final step in design thinking process. In this stage, the best solutions obtained in the form of prototypes are tested in the environment of the real product using real users, designers, and evaluators to assess that to what extent the problem can be solved. This is an iterative process, as the results obtained from the test can be used to redefine the problem, solutions, and proposed prototypes. This makes further changes and more refinements of the prototypes. Another important aspect of this stage is it provides us an opportunity to empathize more users as we are conducted the test in the presence of users and observing them more carefully to understand their likes and dislikes about the solution to their problem, which is in the form of prototype. Besides the user perspective about the solution, testing may also help the design thinkers personally to refine the problem and address any preconcepts that are existing till now. The result of this stage can be used as a model to build the solution. It can be observed from the figure 1, dotted lines show that after the test may give new ideas for the project. Design thinkers go back to the ideate stage. Sometimes test may reveal insights that redefine the problem. Leads to design thinkers go back to the define stage. During or after test, design thinkers learn about the user's thinking, then they may go back to the very initial stage of empathies. Similar things will happen during the prototype stage and define stage. Design thinker may go back to previous stages and work from that. Hence, total design thinking process is iterative. Hence, is a nonlinear complex problem. Rules of design thinking. There are 4 fundamental rules to be followed in design thinking process. They are: the human rule, all design activity is ultimately social in nature. Research shows all the successful products and services are developed keeping in the mind of end users, hence it human-centric. It is necessary to solve technical problem that will satisfy human needs. The ambiguity rule, design thinkers should preserve ambiguity. Innovation demands experimentation at the limits of our knowledge, at the limits of our ability to control events, and with freedom to see things differently. The redesign rule. All design is redesign. The human needs that we seek to satisfy have been with us for millennia. Through time and evolution, there have been many successful solutions to these problems. Because technology and social circumstances change constantly, it is imperative to understand how these needs have been addressed in the past. Then we can apply foresight tools and methods to better estimate social and technical conditions we will encounter 5, 10, or even 20 years in the future. The tangibility rule. Making ideas tangible always facilitates communication. Curiously, this is one of our most recent findings. While conceptual prototyping has been a central activity in design thinking during the entire period of our research, it is only in the past few years that it was realized that prototypes are communication media. The heart of the design thinking process lies at the intersection of technical feasibility, economic viability, and desirability by the user. Examples of design organizations. The Design Management Institute, DMI, developed an index called Design Value Index, DVI, choosing the major 16 publicly traded stock which are to be considered as using design thinking concept. The Design Management Institute, DMI, is an international membership organization that connects design to business, to culture, to customers, and to the changing world. Founded in 1975, the index showed a growth of 211% when compared with S&P 500. These organizations are the models of high-functional design thinking organizations. The Standard & Poor's 500, or simply the S&P 500, is a stock market index tracking the performance of 500 large companies listed on stock exchanges in the United States. See the figure. This figure shows the examples of organizations successfully implementing design thinking principles. These organizations include Apple, Coca-Cola, Ford, IBM, Nike, Walt Disney, Whirlpool. This figure shows the growth of DVI or Design Value Index is 211% when compared with S&P 500. These organizations are the models of high-functional design thinking organizations. The Standard & Poor's 500, or simply the S&P 500, is a stock market index tracking the performance of 500 large companies listed on stock exchanges in the United States. These 16 organizations have been APT to conform on the DMI for the best practices criteria. Currently, the organizations should meet following 6 criteria for their admittance in the DVI-1. Design operates at scale across the enterprise. 2. Design holds a prominent place on the company organizational chart and either sits on the leadership team or directly reports to a leadership team member. 3. Experienced executives manage the design function. 4. Design sees a growing level of investment to support its growing influence. 5. Design enjoys senior leadership support from the top tier of the organization. 6. The company has been publicly traded on a US exchange for the last 10 years and thereby adheres to GAAP accounting rules. What is innovation? Innovation is really a confusing buzzword. Business leader generally agrees that innovation is important. But nobody can answer what it means. According to Oxford Dictionary, innovation is make changes in something established, especially by introducing new methods, ideas, or products. May not be giving the definition of the innovation in the present-day context. Below are the definitions given by few experts for innovation. Turning an idea into a solution that adds value from a customer's perspective. Nick Skillicornother, innovation consultant and creative coach. The application of ideas that are novel and useful. Creativity, the ability to generate novel and useful ideas, is the seed of innovation, but unless it's applied and scaled, it's still just an idea. David Burkus, Associate Professor of Leadership and Innovation at Oral Roberts University, USA. An innovation is a feasible relevant offering such as a product, service, process or experience with a viable business model that is perceived as new and is adopted by customers. Gids Van Wolfen, author and worldwide keynote speaker on innovation. Innovation may be defined as an idea that satisfies the important aspects: value to the customer, technically feasible and financially viable, and can be scaled up. In simple words, idea which can be commercialized. Integration of innovation and design thinking. Integration of innovation and design thinking means applying the principles of design thinking into innovation process. The article published by Linda Naiman on how to integrate design thinking with creative problem solving for innovation 3 presents an 8-step process for the integration of innovation and design thinking. This article published on 8 September 2016 in LinkedIn. See the figure. This figure shows a framework for design thinking, which consists of discovery, frame or reframe opportunity, incubate, ideate or illuminate, evaluation or refining the ideas, rapid prototyping and testing, deliver, iterate and scaling. Discovery. In this step, design thinkers choose a topic that is motivating and compelling, then focus and learn about the topic. Always design thinking should start with a desired future and the strategies to approach to achieve an end goal. Research the topic to get insights. Ask the following questions during the research. What do you need to learn and understand? What are the opportunities embedded in the problem? What stories that the users telling about their experiences? What are their fears, hopes and goals that are motivating them? Then ask why. For each answer to dig much deeper into the problem. This makes to get more insights about the problem. Frame and reframe. Defining or framing the problem in the right way to create a best solution. Earlier step we collected the pieces of information about the problems. This stage design thinkers should make a sense of these information collected. Research further by seeing the themes, patterns and greater relationships between the bits of information. Finally, unearth users' insights to redefine problem areas into our opportunities. Incubate. Creativity generates from the integration of individual and the group reflection. Give some time to the group to reflect on their ideas and then incubate on their own before starting a group session on ideation process. Ideate. Already we, design thinkers, have deep insights about users' perspective about the problem. Now generate ideas that contribution and value to users. Generate as many ideas as possible by asking the question, what else? So that we have great number of better options for solving the problem. Decide. Now in this step present only those ideas that have eureka feeling. Do you this save the time by eliminating the ideas which are not worth and not to debate on each and every idea in the group. Select only those ideas that satisfy the three important components of an innovation, i.e., human desirability, technical feasibility, and economic viability. The group may choose 3 to 4 best ideas for further prototype and test. Prototype. Prototype is a physical model or a sketch to demonstrate the idea to all the stakeholders including users. Users test the prototype and give their responses and feedback about the product service. These feedback and responses makes us to either move forward or kill that idea and avoid investing the time and other resources on it. Deliver. The prototype made and tested in the previous step to be built and launched in the market for its success. Iterate. As mentioned earlier, designing process is a non-linear and it is an iterative process. Design thinkers use the responses from the stakeholders to further refine the ideas and repeat the iteration process until there is no addition or subtraction is possible. Thanks for watching. Comment for any suggestions. Like, share and subscribe for more videos.